Are you struggling to build your palette optimally? Need a helping hand? Well, good news. I play this game far too much, to the point where I can help you do just that. Hi there, I'm 3B, a Splatoon speedrunner who specializes in the hero mode and DLC of Splatoon 3. And in this series, we're going to be breaking down the strengths and weaknesses of each palette and side order, what chips you want to grab for your builds, and how to get the most bang from your buck for each run you do. For this video, we're going to focus on you speed demons, and talk about the fastest palette this side of the spire, Marie's palette. Now let's get started with the basics. Marie's palette, unsurprisingly, features the Charger, with Ink Mine as its sub and Try Ink Strike as its special. The Charger specializes in large bursts of damage, and excels at playing from a distance. Using Ink Mine, you can place traps for your enemies to walk into, and use Ink Strike as a fantastic crowd control tool. Overall, it's fantastic at dishing out potent punches to larger foes, and excels at piercing through hordes of smaller targets. If you're not careful, you can find yourself sandwiched between foes, and rapidly lose control of the crowded gelatins approaching you, so make sure to stay aware of your positioning or things can go bad really quick. Always be on the lookout for escape routes and try not to back yourself into corners, as this can leave you ripe for the picking. As a last-ditch effort, you can pop your Ink Strike to clear a path through a crowd, but it also works as a great burst of damage on things like the tower or portals, so use it wherever you find the most benefit at the time. I will note, chip build will heavily influence how you handle confrontations, but this should give you an overall solid foundation on how to handle yourself while playing Charger. Let's talk about what kind of things you'll want to grab in your run. First and foremost, Quick Charge. When you max out Quick Charge, a single press of your trigger will shoot a fully charged shot. Take the Bamboozler and put it on steroids. That's roughly what you're looking at. This is amazing at allowing you to shred portals, groups of enemies, and even give chase to those cowardly fish fleeing from you. The downside is that if you don't have any other support chips, such as Splat Ink Recovery or Ink Saver Main, you will burn through ink. And if you do that, you're completely vulnerable to swift revenge from some angry gelatins. Speaking of which, Splat Ink Recovery, Ink Saver Main, and honestly any other form of ink recovery chip will be your best friend for Charger builds. The more ink you have, the more you can give them hell. If you see these chips, make sure to grab them. While Homing Shot is an amazing chip and should be grabbed, you should never have more than 2 of these chips at any given moment on your Charger build. And when you have 2 or more of these chips, you're just going to have an issue with your shots not going where you need them to, and you're gonna die. Remember, don't get too greedy with your desire for aimbot. It sounds good on paper, but it'll end up hurting you more than you could possibly anticipate. And I'll hit you with a bonus round. Explosion Radius, Ink Damage, Damage Up Distant, Main Ink Coverage, and all sorts of other chips are wonderful at complementing Charger builds. If you aren't seeing the major chips we're looking for in runs, they're wonderful backups if you need to take a junk floor to save your Mimbucks economy. Speaking of economy, let's talk about floor selection and Mimbucks management at large. Overall in side order speedruns, we're prioritizing 4 floor types: vending floors, portal floors, 8-ball floors, and fish floors. Vending floors are pretty self-explanatory. Taking them will increment time on your in-game timer and allow you to potentially get beneficial chips for a fair price, assuming you have maxed out those hacks. Portal floors are also pretty simple, even in the late game. A Charger can quickly shred through portals, able to pop a standard one in 3 full charge shots with just 1 tap shot to finish it off, assuming you've maxed out your damage upgrade hacks. Obviously, if you have damage upgrade chips, this will change, but it's a good baseline to know. 8-ball stages can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. Aside from learning shot lineups, there isn't really much more I can recommend aside from Steamroller Dot Floor. You want to avoid that one. Fish floors are a little bit risky if you don't have the build to quickly dispatch the panicking fish, but game knowledge can really make up for that. Assuming your build's really good late game, they're fantastic because they're very quick stages, allowing you to burn through floors without wasting too much IGT. Now, let's talk Mimbucks. Rerolling floors is the lifeline of a run. It allows you to be really picky about your stages and your chips, so paying attention to your Mimbucks count is a must. Although we want to be playing a majority of mostly quick stages, sometimes it's best to take a slightly slower stage for more Mimbucks, especially if you're running low from poor RNG. Make sure to keep an eye out for floors with bonuses, that extra income can go a long way in a run. The majority of the time, your Mimbucks will be going towards your floor resets anyways, but if a vending machine has chips you're hungering for, don't be afraid to be a big spender, especially if Quick Charge is in there. If you're approaching a vending floor, try your best to have a good bit of pocket change, it can really save a rough run. All in all, it's a balancing act of risk and reward, which suits the DLC. Experiment, test your limits, don't be afraid to push yourself. If you lose the run, you can always start another. On that note, if you choose to reset a run, make sure you clear floor 5. as doing so will give you an extra 500 Mimbucks to work with on your next attempt. Those extra 500 Mimbucks can go a long way to make your early game building much easier. Hope you are paying attention. We're going to do a quick review. Marie's palette features the Charger, with Inkbind and Tri-Ink Strike as its support. While climbing the spire, you're going to be looking for a couple things, including Quick Charge, Ink Saver Main, although any ink-related support chips would be great, and of course, you can't forget chips like Homing Shots, Explosion Radius, and Main Range. Damage up chips are also appreciated. You'll be prioritizing Vending Floors, Portal Floors, 8-Ball Floors, and Fish Floors, emphasizing a healthy Mimbucks economy while floor resetting. Remember, pay attention to your positioning and always be alert, adapting to your build as needed. And this is more of a personal note for me, but I want you to remember to have fun. Don't lose yourself in the pursuit of a faster time. The grind can be cruel and brutal, and you can really fall into a bad mindset if you're not careful. Remember that at the end of the day, we're doing this for fun because we love this game. If you're getting really frustrated, take a break and come back later. The game will be waiting for you all the same. And I think that's about it for the Charger. With these tips in mind, you can certainly get some good times with a bit of grit and determination. Truly, I think Side Order is a fantastic DLC. I can't wait to share more of my love for this game with you as I work more on this video series. Keep your chin up, keep your wits about you, good luck, and happy running.